Okay, holy shit, this video blew up. I first just want to thank everyone who enjoyed the video as well as those who left the very kind comments down below, because you know how the internet is today. Toxic as fuck, makes Chernobyl look like the city of Oz. Now, obviously, I had no idea that the video would do as well as it did, but for some reason, there are always things that surprise me, and this is definitely one of them. But once again, I want to thank you guys for the support for the last video. I'm just going to shut the fuck up and let you guys get into this next video right now. Sports. Don't we all love them? The idea of a game that can be competitive as well as fun at the same time, or at least that's what I would think of most sports such as football and, well, football, just with less incest. Basketball, baseball, you get what I mean. Well, if you were to ask our ancestors back in the day, they would have told you that they were on that hardcore gangster shit and made you sit and watch people being torn apart limb from limb as, quote, entertainment. While that is meant to be taken as a joke, I think that by the end of this video, you're going to think that would be something that they would genuinely respond with. So today's video, I will be showing you 5 sports that will make you question why the hell these would be considered sports, as well as why the fuck people would genuinely want to play them. But let's be honest here, what else was there to do back in these times, besides hoping to God that you didn't die from consumption, or lack thereof? But enough with dragging this motherfucker out, let's get into the sports!
Niggas want that gutter shit, fuck that other shit, that play it for your mother shit. Ain't the rugged shit, niggas want that gutter shit, fuck that other shit, that play it for your mother shit.
Number 5, Mesoamerican ball game. Yep, that is the name of this sport. Quite a mouthful, don't you think? Now, if you watch the movie The Road to El Dorado, you've definitely seen this sport, or at least one of the many versions of it that existed. It's believed that this sport had been around since at least 1650 BC by the pre-Columbian people of the Mesoamerican region, which is located in what is now Mexico. The rules of the game are completely unknown, other than that it is believed to have been played similarly to racquetball, where the objective of the game is to keep the ball in play, with the ring alongside the wall being that if you somehow made it into the hole, then that team automatically wins. The most common idea of the sport is that the players would strike the ball with not their feet or their hands, but with their hips. The balls that were used were made out of solid rubber and could weigh up to as much as 9 pounds or 4 kilograms for all my viewers out there who don't use freedom units. Can you imagine hitting that thing with your hip, a 9-pound ball? Throughout the many variations of this game, teams were played between 2 to 4 teams, with the number of players per team being from 2 to 4 as well. Now, what's the most insane thing about this sport was, of course, like anything Aztec related, sacrifice. Like full-blown human sacrifice. I'm not bullshitting when I say this, but whoever lost the game, regardless of the situation, that team would end up being sacrificed. With the reasoning behind it that the sport had ritualistic aspects, with large formal ball games being held as ritual events. It's even believed that in some instances, the winners would be the ones that would get sacrificed. So out of all games that you would not want to be the one to hit a buzzer beater, it would be this. Number 4, shin kicking. What the fuck? Gotta leave it to the British to come up with some shit that makes slap boxing look normal. Shin kicking, otherwise known as shin digging or purring, is like the name says, a combat sport involving 2 people attempting to kick each other in the shins in hopes that one of them would fall to the ground. It was one of the most popular events at the Cotswold Olympic Games, which is like the Olympic Games but for sociopaths, from 1612 until its ending in the 1850s. It's even been believed that some shin kickers would use steel-toe boots during competition to build pain tolerance. What the actual fuck? Now, if you're like me, and you remember those times when you were a kid where you would accidentally hit yourself in the shin with a razor scooter or a skateboard, you would understand why I would run to the hills if someone offered to play this with me. But something tells me that back then, I don't think I would have had much of a choice.
Straight off the streets of motherfucking Compton, it's the downest nigga I know. Easy motherfucking.
Number 3, Pankration. Whatever the fuck it's called. Hey, is this like wrestling? You wish it was. Pankration was a type of combat sport that originated in ancient Greece during the Greek Olympic Games in 648 BC. This was essentially just an ancient version of what is now known as MMA or mixed martial arts, with fighters being able to use boxing as well as wrestling techniques such as kicking, holds, joint locks, and chokes. There were no weight divisions or time limits. However, there were age groups, typically around 2 to 3 different groups. The only rules in this sport were no eye gouging or biting. However, everything else was completely legal. Literally anything was legal. Hilariously enough, in ancient Sparta, they would make eye gouging and biting completely legal, meaning that in ancient Sparta, there quite literally were no rules. You ever seen Lord of the Flies? This is exactly what it would have been if they made it into a combat sport. The reason why Pankration, I don't know what it's called, was so violent besides the lack of rules was because most events would result in death of one or more opponents, which would be considered a win for the surviving combatant. I mean, if I were to choose between this or fighting in the Persian War, I feel like I would have a better chance of surviving this. But then again, anything is better than fucking shin kicking. I still can't get over that. What in the actual...
M-E-T-H-O-D, man. M-E-T-H-O-D, man. M-E-T-H-O-D, man. M-E-T-H-O-D.
Number 2. Jousting. Now, I'm pretty sure that almost everyone that is watching this video has seen or heard of jousting, but for those who don't know, here's how it works. Essentially, jousting consists of 2 knights on opposite ends of a field. Most of the time, they would be on horses, and the objective was to have both knights run towards each other, each carrying a large lance and trying to use the lance to knock the opponent off their horse. Now, obviously, there are so many reasons that this would be a bad idea, but it seems that it was quite a popular sport in its heyday, with it becoming an iconic characteristic of the medieval times. Like, when you think of the medieval times, you think of King Arthur, you think of castles, you think of Camelot, and you think of jousting. Crazy enough, in 1536, King Henry VIII, yes, that King Henry VIII, would fall off of his horse during a jousting match, with the armored horse falling and landing on top of him. Although he would recover, he did suffer from a leg injury that would lead to him gaining a significant amount of weight, as well as complete personality change. So for all you history freaks out there that always wondered why King Henry VIII was completely fucking insane during his reign, this most likely explains it. King Henry VIII, the man who got CT before it was cool. Crazy enough, King Henry II of France would end up dying from a jousting accident due to an eye infection that would later develop into sepsis, leading to the decline of the sport. Yeah, after thousands on top of thousands of people losing their lives participating in this sport, all it took was one king going full Aaron Hernandez during their reign and one king straight up dying for the sport to finally die out. And now for number 1, we have Roman chariot racing. You thought Fast and Furious was intense? Get a load of this. Once again, I'm pretty sure there are quite a few people watching this video that know exactly what this sport is all about. But for those who don't know, once again, here's how it works. Usually 12 chariots would be lined up with 4 factions being created, so 3 chariots per faction, where they would battle it out. Fans would show off their colors, usually on flags, to show their support for their team. What makes chariot racing so dangerous, besides the obvious, were mainly because there were no rules for the drivers. Like, none. No rules, no limits, no nothing. You're on your own. They were allowed to whip their rivals, toss them from their chariots, or downright run them over with their horses. Roman chariots were frequently wrecked as teams whipped around the curved arena. Horses would run into each other, or when chariots tipped over, leading to the Romans calling it shipwrecked. So if you've ever wondered what NASCAR would look like in ancient Rome, this would be it. I mean, let's be honest. I think that most NASCAR fans in ancient Rome would get along perfectly. I mean, they both like inbreeding. Once again, you guys, I appreciate the love and support from the previous video. Last I checked, the video just garnered like 1,000 views, which is mind-blowing. And I gained like, what, 50 subs or something like that? Some ridiculous ass amount. So you motherfuckers are a bit insane, I'll be honest. But I still obviously appreciate the love and support for you guys. It really means a lot to me, as well as, like I said before, the positive comments that were in the comment section. So obviously, I do have a bit of a bigger project coming up right now. I'm still working on a script for it. It's going to be a 3-part series I'm still working on right now. But in the meantime, as I'm working on that project, I'm still going to toss out some of these other smaller form factor videos for you guys to keep you entertained in the meantime. Once again, you guys, I seriously do appreciate the love and support. And thank you for watching.